Texicanas is Bravo's newest drama-filled series. Y el drama es real.
It looks like Mexico threw up in here. O sea, ¿qué onda? Do you own a pair of tennis shoes?
I'm not a diva.
My nails! Yes, go!
There's a cop!
Somebody was saying something about me.
That you were flirting with someone's husband.
Touching somebody is assault.
Assault? Are you serious?
Penny, you need to relax.
You put your face in front of my husband.
Drop it right now or I'm leaving.
I can't be taking care of babies.
Nadie me mandó a mí, yo vine porque quería. Última vez.
A su madre, güey, todas. Me tienen hasta la madre. Tu madre.
Texicanas Tuesday nights on Bravo. And now, let's get into some chisme. This is After the Show with Tito Caballero.
Back with Penny and Mayra after episode 7 of Texicanas, Tuesday nights on Bravo. So, episode 7 is behind us. A little
More
tense.
to go.
Honestly, though, how are you guys feeling now? What kind of feedback have you gotten from your family and friends about episode 7?
Sorry, I had to take a drink.
I'm giving
Well, to be honest, Tito, after this episode, actually a lot of people are surprised that it's almost already over.
Right.
They're like, what? How? Like, that's been that fast?
I
Like,
think
it's
now we
impossible.
actually have like real like discussions, not the you know
Right.
the very beginning that anal that went for over 4 episodes. We gotta give it a closure.
I know.
Now it's real life.
It's
you know,
like
like
nip it.
real.
You know,
Right.
come
Yeah.
on. It's
Right.
like, really? I mean, a whole season talking about that? No way. Like, I mean, I dreamt the word like every night. And, but we actually have like, you know, true followers. Like
Yeah.
everybody has like their opinions and the people that they like and they don't. And sometimes they change that opinion.
Yeah.
And I've gotten that feedback. I don't know, Mayra, but sometimes like
Yes.
people will write on my page and I'm like, well, it really, you know, and I'll try to explain, even though we've been asked not to engage. I can't control myself.
I see that Penny keeps commenting. I'm like, Penny,
Yeah.
please stop. And she's like, I can't help it. And then I tell Fernando, I need to defend her. I mean, she defended me. I need to defend her. Mayra, do not engage. And I'm like,
We get calls from our husbands, and then we call each other, and we're like, "Don't engage, don't engage." Yeah, and then we're like, and then, you know, so it's like, but you know, you go back and forth. You can go back and forth with people all day long.
Right.
But
I'll tell you how I'm feeling after episode
Yes.
7. I need a drink and a strong drink.
yes.
Like I felt the tension. I really did.
I know.
I honestly, like, I've seen it like 3 times, and I think I want to cry every time that I see it.
Right.
You know, like, honestly, how, again, I'm upset at myself. Just like on episode 1.
Right.
Like, why did you do that to yourself?
Right.
Just walk freaking away. Like,
Right.
really, do you need this? Do you need these people? How do they contribute to your life?
So did you feel stress after watching episode 7? Was your stress level high?
Yes,
what was
it was.
most stressful? I guess, like, what do you think is going through your viewers' minds after watching episode 7?
There's a lot of little things that were left out. Maybe the other women might feel the same way too. Like their points were gotten across, or maybe Mayra's wasn't, and people might judge her reaction, and people might judge, you know, all of our reactions to the whole situation. At the end of the day, it was kind of a cliff notes
Yeah.
of everything that happened, but
There's more into it.
There's
And of
more to
course,
it, you know.
Like, for example,
Yeah.
obviously, when I knew that it was an issue, the jewelry thing with Carla,
Yeah.
like, I sent her the cash, you know, through the Cash App,
Yeah.
and she didn't accept it. And I sent her a check, and she didn't accept it. So that's why it's like, are we trying to become
Right.
friends, or
Right.
are we gonna fight over a petty little thing?
Right. Right.
So they don't show that. They just say
Right.
that we've already talked
Yeah.
about it.
Right.
I want to solve this. I want to be
Right.
friends, you know?
Right.
So
yeah.
again, I didn't want to have the same thing than with Luz, you know, that over and over the same thing. Let's move forward. We're friends. We can go beyond this, you know?
And, I wanted to ask what you felt was different about your relationship with Lorena, because it seems like you and Lorena were able to work it out at the end of episode 7. I mean, it seemed like you accepted the apology. It looked like she really was distressed about the whole situation. And you guys seem to have worked that out. Why do you think that is?
Because again, I mean, we're humans. We all, do mistakes, have mistakes, and as long as you recognize it, I did wrong. I should have done this instead of that. And we're humans, and you have relationship struggles and everything, but we have a strong friendship, and we need to move forward.
I think the drama was clearly at a boiling point in episode 7. I learned something about myself from Dr. No, it can't get worse. Oh my God.
It does.
I learned something about myself from Dr. Nacho.
I told him.
He's like Dr. Phil, pero
I was
Dr.
walking away, super dignified. I'm like, I'm done with this. I'm not gonna cry. And then he comes over and like, really, Nacho? I almost got away with it.
I know.
So I learned that my problem is that I'm a short Mexican. I mean, that's when you.
I'm a short Mexican, like Chihuahua.
Oh, you know what? Fernando actually thinks that he's tall for a Mexican standard. Yes. Yeah. He's like, I remember we went to this Madonna concert and he was like above the rest of them. Like, oh, sure, Fernando, sure, you're tall. Yes.
Yeah, you're tall.
I love you, however.
It looked like he was genuinely concerned, though.
Yes.
And I felt I hadn't really seen that side of him, I guess. And how important do you feel his role was in the?
It was crucial.
In the peacekeeping.
Crucial.
Yeah, huh?
And to be honest, this is one thing we've always noticed about Ignacio, about Nacho. And he's a man of very few words.
And he never involves himself into any drama.
He will not engage into any drama. He lets Lorena do her thing. She can yell and scream and bark at whatever she wants, but he's just kind of like laid back and chill.
Right.
I mean, you saw the beginning of the episode. Yeah. He walks in and he's like, oh my God, there's trouble. I'm just gonna go have a beer over there.
Yeah.
And then he's like, enough.
And most of the men stay out.
Right.
out. Like, I mean,
unless it's like completely necessary, to step
in.
Yeah.
And but when he does say something, it's very.
He's an amazing guy.
Yeah.
Really care about them.
You take it to heart.
For sure. And I just thought that was a really special moment when he went out and in the middle of all of that.
He made me cry.
And was just like,
really
hey.
cried. That's crying. When people tell me like, oh, you cried like over at Lorena's. Like, you've seen nothing.
Right.
Like, because honestly, like you said, I mean, it was very honest of him, to reach out. Actually, when the cameras came over, he's like, we'll talk, when, the camera crew is gone. And of course, they would not let that moment go away from their hands,
They're there and they're there. And that's what we signed up for.
And here's the thing,
That's their job, obviously.
Yeah.
I was, I think I texted Fernando. He asked me, so what did you think of episode 7? And
that's so smart.
I said,
he's so into it.
I said, it was definitely a break the popcorn out and let's watch this drama unfold.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, I think that, does it bring entertainment value to the viewers, which is probably what the network is, interested about.
Right.
And I think that, it does.
Real friendship drama, on how to go over that.
Right. And I think people eat that up. I mean, it's a little more difficult, I think, for us. And I throw myself into that equation because I've gotten to know a few of you a little more intimately. And I think it's harder for us because we all know each other.
Right.
And we don't want to see each other get hurt. We don't want to see each other, feel bad. But for viewers who are, just kind of looking inside the glass, for them, this is great.
Of course. No, that's what I keep telling everyone. Like, how's the next episode? Well, for me, it's terrible.
Right,
for you guys, it's fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. That's
is,
true. I tell, you're going to love it. I'm probably going to get eaten alive for
probably
it.
My opinion is not your same opinion.
Yeah. Like, I'm worried about it, but you might like it. You know?
Yeah, it's entertaining.
So I was really curious, and I thought that they were going to show this part. I'm curious if there were cameras. So the shuttle ride up to Horseshoe Bay was fun. Like, everybody was having a good time, having drinks or whatever. And they showed all you guys walking to the shuttle in episode 7. And I thought, this is going to be interesting to see, like, what is the ride back home going to be like? What was that?
I wanted to leave like earlier, obviously, like after the whole event.
All you guys were on the shuttle on the way back? No.
Mayra got.
I drove with one of the cast.
Mayra had a driver back home
on
her own.
Come on.
Did you go back home on the? I know, right?
Well, I know. You could imagine how it was.
Right.
On the ride back.
Like, did you guys talk?
Well, you know what?
Oh, you didn't show anything,
Again,
that's
here we
right.
go again with the group chat. Nobody has a balls to say anything to their face, right?
It's all
Right, right.
pretending.
Right,
I
right,
can't
right.
take
Nobody
that.
has los huevos para decírselo en la cara. And so I was expecting to get,
Resolution?
backlash. No, or backlash for
Okay.
for the whole thing.
on the
you
ride
know?
back.
On the ride back.
They would never
And not a
admit that
word.
they did
And
anything wrong.
actually, you know what? Jason and Ana Yancy were not there. They weren't on the bus right back home. It was just Luz, Janet, Lorena, Nacho, Carla, Manoli, Raul, and I.
Pretty quiet.
Yeah.
Alcohol? Was there alcohol involved?
No.
No, we were super hungover.
It was time over.
Yeah, for me it was terrible the way back. Yes.
Yep. Yeah.
It was
Getting worse,
probably
obviously.
the longest car ride ever in your life.
Yeah, it wasn't fun.
Trying to get back.
It wasn't fun.
Do you guys feel that all of this would have happened on its own if the cameras weren't around? Do you feel it would have gotten to that point? I mean, because most of you were friends.
Like honestly, and you can see through the season. I think Carla and I, since they started recording. I mean, and Luz became friends with her. We didn't have the same relationship, so it was. I mean, it was gonna happen
Already
because
kind of disintegrating. But the thing with our culture is that we keep it a secret.
Because like on
Right.
the chat, I mean, Luz was pretty explicit. Like,
Yeah.
I already know who I'm
Yeah.
gonna go after. Remember?
Right.
And I kept telling Carla, this is happening, girl. And she's like, no, we're not gonna let it happen. And all of a sudden,
Right,
at my birthday
I
party,
always
you can
say-
see, she's, saying, like, oh, she didn't care. She didn't want to come. Oh yeah, she said, so I could see it happen. So we weren't like when she's like, oh, we talk every single day.
That was the
No.
first episode, right?
No, since we started filming,
I think that was
filming,
the first episode, Mayra's birthday. And Carla and Luz were already becoming very buddy
she's like,
buddy.
she doesn't care. So,
Mayra kind of felt already like a I would say she's a witch. Because
they
anytime-
said that.
I mean,
the producers keep saying that.
Yeah.
Everything that you said that was going to
How do
happen.
you know that? Who told you? And I'm like, no, it's because Mayra can feel it.
Yeah.
She can feel it. When I had to keep a secret that I was a narrator for 6 months, none of the other women even had a clue,
Wow.
of what was going on. Mayra would always tell me, you know something. You know something. You know something.
Yeah,
And
like,
she
I
would
know.
call me and like you know something. And when I was
she
in
was
LA,
like,
I'd be like, Mayra, I can't talk right now. And it's
Right.
hard to keep a secret from her, which is kind of
I'm
the
very
reason why
intuitive.
too that I felt guilty. I felt guilty
Ay,
when that chat was going on.
Why?
No,
the
but I
chat, when the chat,
yes,
yeah.
but they included me in it. It's hard to get out. You get stuck with peer pressure sometimes.
peer pressure.
I never said a
know.
bad thing about Mayra on that chat. On the contrary, sometimes I'd be like,
And that's another
I like
thing.
Mayra. So you girls can feel like that, but I like Mayra.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so
No, you would defend me. Like, yeah, why? Yeah, she's intense. Yeah, that's why we have a show. You keep telling them.
I'm like,
yes.
exactly. It's like
She would even give me the credit,
Yeah,
remember?
like, she's intense.
And
Yeah,
that's another
cool.
thing that
Like,
I want to clarify, though. I mean, that mean talking, it wasn't just about the driving. I mean, it went going on through the whole season. So it's not like I misunderstood.
Right.
I mean, there was like 3 months, previous, to that.
And the producers did tell us that we weren't allowed to have a chat, so a lot of the other women were like scared. I wasn't scared. I mean,
Yeah. Well,
and
that's-
so they have the rights to that, and so they had to, they could ask any single one of us to give that to them
Of course.
because
Interesting.
they told us not to.
Right. And that's I had Ana Yancy and Luz here last weekend or last week, and I asked them. I said, so what was going through your mind, when you walked into the breakfast area that after discovering the chat, right? Because I saw the terror like in their faces.
And I must say, I didn't know that they knew that I knew. That's
Got it,
why
got
I
it,
stayed.
got it.
I thought we were going to pretend once again
Well,
that we're friends.
they said that they were most concerned about the production being pissed off at them because they had this group chat going. Yeah. She's like, oh my God, like we're screwed because.
And Mayra would tell me, hey, production, no chats, Penny. And I'm like, I know.
Again, I've worked for corporate, and I play by the rules.
For sure.
If they say no to something, you're not supposed to do it. You don't do it.
And I tried to, but it was like close one and then open another. And I'm like, that's our way of communicating.
Going on.
Right.
That's the way us Mexicans, like they say, all those Mexicans always use WhatsApp. And that's the way we communicate.
And Lorena was actually upset at me because she thought that I told production that what had happened, but it was actually an Ayansi. So when she sees the episode, I'm like, I'm so sorry. I thought you had exposed me, that I had been talking bad about you. And she's like, no. Then I saw then she sees the episode.
Yeah.
That Anayansi is the one that puts it out. So when I go to a breakfast, I didn't know we were going to talk about this.
Wow.
That's why I'm like, oh, these are pretty room. And then let's talk about it.
I knew we were going to talk about it. Oh, I knew we were going to talk about it. I got text messages in the morning telling me, what the hell did you do?
And that's why I'm like, okay, we're talking about this,
and I'm like, oh, shoot. You could cut the tension with a knife as you open that door. You were like,
yes,
with a machete.
Right.
You had to walk in with a machete like this. Like, I could feel the tension.
No, I really didn't know. Didn't know.
Oh, no.
I think we can all relate.
And I think Lorena, that's why she was like more upset towards me, because she thought that like you exposed what he did. And then she realized like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, that it hadn't been like that I had not betrayed her. Like say, you did this.
Yeah. I'm glad to see that your friendship is still intact with Lorena, because it seemed like Ignacio.
We're good. Yes.
Yeah. That's cool. As a viewer, I see that, and I can't count how many times I've blown up and said something that, was stupid. But I'll genuinely apologize. And I'll be like, hey, I'm sorry, that was out of line.
Yeah.
And then move on.
Exactly.
Do you guys ever have this type of tension in your personal friendships outside of the show? Like, have you ever, like your family, has it ever, or friends and family, has it ever gotten to this? Or do you feel like this is probably one of the most intense?
No. I've had a lot of relationships where we have blow-ups and stuff. Lorena and I have had a lot of
I know.
Like before the show even started, we've had blow-ups.
I had one with my best friend 3 years ago. I just talked to you about it, and we solved it, and we're super friends. Ale Chavez. Then again, but you talk, and you have to, a relationship has to work like both ways.
Right.
Yeah. So she tried and I tried, and we're, super good friends again.
And acknowledging your mistakes.
That's
exactly
probably the biggest
being
thing.
humble,
Yes.
humble enough, and
that's where.
Just like honestly, this happened 3 years ago with my best friend, but after the show, I was depressed for like 2 months. Remember?
Yeah.
And my friends would come up. I was just like, I don't want to know anything about this. It was bad because I do have a very close circle, and most of them didn't want me to be on the show. My family still doesn't want me to be on the show. So, it was like, if I would go to my friends or to my family, this happened to me, they would say like, I told you not to do it.
Yeah.
I told you this was going to happen.
Yeah.
This is what you got yourself into,
Right.
And then these ladies, this is what happened. It's like, who do I turn to?
Yeah. Would you change anything that you did or didn't do now looking back on the show?
Honestly, and Fernando, don't get upset, but I keep telling you. My two major fights on the show, they were because of Fernando. He didn't invite Luz to my dinner, and I didn't know about that. And the second one was the jewelry. I was wearing this bag, that had like little woods,
the wooden,
the Colgaya one.
Yeah,
so I didn't have my card. If I had had my card, I would have just
You
gone.
would have never known.
But then, he's like, oh, okay, yeah, like Fernando, I'm gonna send this money to Carla. He's like, what? We've already spent so much money in the show, yeah, you'll get it later. That's fine. You'll get, she's Carla. She's not going to get upset. It's not a big deal. You'll get it later. And then this happens. And I'm like, Fernando, seriously?
But this is real.
It's
world
true,
problems.
though.
Like, this is stuff that I think most people go through.
For sure.
Like, your husband says no.
Right.
And it's like, oh, but I want to shop. And you have to go back and say, oh, yeah, I mean, even me, Raul and I, 50-50, we both work, whatever. I still ask him. I have to ask him, can I spend money on this? You know, I mean, we have a joint account. Like, there's not separating stuff. Like, I understand my dad.
Right.
And I was like, I get it. Like, she didn't do it on purpose.
And I would do it eventually. Of course, I was gonna get it. It's just like at that moment, Fernando's like, it was like at the finale, you know. So these shows like cost a lot of money, you know. So it was at the very end, you know. Do we really have to? Can you just wait a little bit? You know, can we do it like next month? You know, and that's what I told her. I can't right now. You know, Fernando's like, this has been an expensive, you know, journey. Can you just wait a little bit? She won't mind. She's your friend. And look what happened.
Really I mean, even though you don't want to put up a show or a front, you're not going to wear the same shirt every time you film. You're filming for 3 months. Right. You're not going to, you know, and any normal person would think.
Yeah, and even Lorena, like, you know, like I paid, you know, she paid me afterwards, you know, for her birthday party, but I paid for all the decorations and all the flowers. Right. And even she, you know, couldn't pay me, you know, at that moment, like, you know, so. I mean, it happens,
and
I wasn't like after Lorena, like, hey, aren't you gonna pay me if I spent this much in flowers and whatever? You know, like I understand we're on the same boat and we understand what's going on.
Yeah, it's stressful.
Now that the honeymoon is over, with the show, do you find that it's more difficult to watch now episode 7 with your friends or close loved ones than it was to watch episode 1?
For me, episode 1 was the worst.
Was it the worst for you?
I think so, because that's not me.
Yeah.
That's not me. I mean, I was not proud of how he, you know, reacted towards Luz. I was very fed up, and this is me, breaking down. But I'm a human. I'm not ashamed, you know, of having, you know, like
there was a lot of,
you know, it's me. That's me.
Yeah.
But they because, and the truth is, the story is kind of told from the
backwards,
to again, like they do a 360.
Yeah.
They do a 360, and so might I think in episode 1 really didn't have a chance to explain herself.
And exactly
now her personality has grown.
Right.
You know, and now people understand.
That's what I keep telling Penny, because like right now she knows she's getting mean tweets and mean comments. I'm like, but at least people already know you and they know who you are. Me on episode 1, they just throw me out in the arena.
Yeah.
And I had all the haters and they didn't understand. You know,
that's what
the
makes
story.
That's what makes a great character, though, is being able to see that evolution. You know what I mean? And that turning point. Exactly. I think is why the audience loves your role on the show, is because they saw that transition. You know, they're like,
but at the beginning it was very hard.
Yeah,
again.
no, for sure.
Everyone was bashing me,
for sure.
You know, and they didn't have the whole story.
I mean, I can put myself in Mayra's shoes and say, that's gotta be tough.
Right.
It is tough. It'll.
It gets better though.
It'll break you down. It'll break you down. It'll break
honestly,
you down.
I'm not ashamed of crying. Honestly, everyone's like, "Oh, like really? Do you actually cry on TV?" I'm like, and what's wrong with that?
Right.
We all need to, you know, cry from time to time, and you know, and that's what I do. Like when I'm very stressed, I'll cry for a whole day, and then
get it out.
I'll be all right.
Oh,
get it out.
I wish I knew how to do that.
I just get it out, and you know, again, get it done and move forward.
I cry once a year.
Yep.
Once a year, maybe.
That's what Raul told me. I'm surprised. No, why? It's good for the soul.
I do. I cry maybe like once a year, and it's like a quick second, and then it's like.
I actually enjoy those sessions. You know, just again cleaning the souls and getting all the things.
I do have to say, and I've told Mayra this before. I've had a lot of opportunities to talk to the crew, our production crew that filmed our show, and they're on all these awesome shows, you know, reality shows. We went to South Carolina one time, and I met the cast of like Southern Charm, and they were filming. Yeah, they were filming their 8th season that time, and they were like, "Penny, we want to go out with you tonight," and we all went out, and so we were talking about like during filming, and then we FaceTimed Mayra and FaceTimed some of the other girls, and we're like, you know, obviously at a bar going crazy, right? And the one of the sound guys told me, he goes, in my so many years, and I know because I've talked to Yeah, Marquito, my Marcos. He's the best, the sweetest. And he's worked on amazing shows.
Yeah.
He goes,
Made in
never,
Mexico and several. Okay.
ever,
And,
a lot. Southern Charm.
Yeah.
I mean, and he says, never in my life have I filmed such an amazing moment of Mayra crying and doing yoga. And I was like, what, Marcos?
I
And he
was
was
worried about that guy.
And he goes, crying and doing yoga in this last episode. And I was like,
but I
Marco,
do that honestly. When I
you're
go to
driving me
yoga,
crazy.
again, like I go into myself and I just let it out.
And I'm like, wow, like, yes, like maybe I should do that.
Yes, you
Cry
should.
and do yoga. And he goes, that was the most
just
amazing
crying
moment
by
I've ever
itself.
filmed.
That's really interesting. That was a powerful moment because I know it stuck out for me as well. Just thinking about, it's therapy.
It is.
It is, of course.
Yeah, for sure.
It might be cheaper
We
than
all
therapy
need that.
too.
I know, right? The production team was on the line with us last week. I wish you guys would have been here for that call.
I saw you had
Bill
and
Jason.
Mark.
Jamar. Bill said that of all the shows that he's done, and he's been doing this I think for like 20 years or something. He did say that this one was special, and I asked him. I said, "Why was this Texicanas show special to you of all of them?" Because he's done a bunch, right?
Yeah.
What is it about this one? And he, and I'm just paraphrasing, but it was something along the lines of it being bigger than a show.
Yeah.
Because of the cultural impact that it has today
Right.
in society. He's like, that's why it was special. He's like, all the other shows, they're shows.
Right.
And I do my best to bring out the best and the worst and create entertainment.
Exactly.
He's like, but this one was bigger than a show. And I thought that was very cool. And I think it's true.
It is
I
true.
love Bill. He's like, our emotional,
Right. Well, you love Bill and then you hate him and then you love him and then
No,
you hate him.
that's why now she talks to Willie again. He's like, no, he's our yeah.
He's like,
oh yes, tell
her
them
rep. So,
the word.
What happened? Okay.
okay, I do have to say that we
He's
all love
our
Bill.
emotional
Right.
trash can. Like all of us,
He's our punching bag.
What the hell? Why is this happening?
Everybody calls
like
him and I'm
everyone.
like, Bill, you need to change professions. You're like a psychologist.
I know, poor
You're
guy.
not a producer. You're a psychologist. You could charge even more.
Right.
And I feel bad, when I actually tell him because it was my birthday, remember? And then they have the episode like, seriously, Bill, the second freaking birthday that you ruined, And then you know what I did? I actually erased his number, his contact number, so I wouldn't text him, And then he texted me, I know you don't have my number, but here it is.
We are.
I don't want to bother you.
We're bipolar with him, but he knows. Look, see, the thing is that Bill actually knows that this was
It's
very
part of
difficult
that.
for all of us to do a show like this because
Right.
it's not something that normally would be accepted in our culture.
Right.
I was kind of surprised that my parents were supportive.
Right.
I was like, there's no way my father's going to support me doing this. He's an attorney. He was in politics in Mexico. We didn't even live in Mexico because of the insecurity, and being in the public
He
eye.
loves it, right?
And
Yeah.
my dad eats it up. And I'm just like, wow,
Hey,
like in
dile que nos
shock.
confundió. Like even he
Oh
confused
my
us.
God. Me and Mayra get confused
Yeah,
all the time.
People have told the same thing to me. Yes.
Yeah, have they? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So my dad text messaged me a couple days ago. And he's like, you look so beautiful in this picture, mijita. And he sends me the picture. And I was like, oh my God, Dad. It's Mayra. It's not me. And he's like,
Sí se parecen.
sí se parecen. And I was like, I can understand everybody else but my own father. And he goes, yes, sí.
That was really funny.
I send the thread to Mayra. I'm like, no, really. Like, really.
This
You
bad,
need to
yeah.
send him him a
God.
gift certificate to get his eyes checked.
Yeah,
Not
right,
say anything. Just
I know. I get my mom. I mean, she has cataracts, but come on, my dad. No.
That's too funny.
But yeah, I mean, Bill understands
Right.
the whole picture.
Right.
Like this is not something that would have normally have happened in our culture with such strong women and such strong personalities and such strong cultural background.
Right. And he even said that the name had a lot to naming the show Texicanas.
Oh, that was another issue.
Well, and you know, because we asked him, well, why didn't you go with like the Real Housewives of San Antonio or that type?
Because we're not.
Well, and that's what he said. He's like, look, we didn't. That came up certainly, but he said we wanted the freedom to not be put into that box with this show because it was different. They were like, if we would have named it that, then we would have had to stay in that box.
We actually do take our kids to school, wake up in a chongo, and chanclas.
Right.
The house without makeup. We are not the house.
Right.
No, we're not. No, not even close.
So your heart to heart with Sabrina. That's your friend's name, right? Sabrina on the show.
Yeah.
She. You had lunch with her the day, I think, or the week after the blowout at Horseshoe Bay.
Right?
But you know, I saw the you had that look on your face of
I messed up.
well, not only that, but you were in thought,
Right.
like you were just kind of she hit something with you. Like what was going through your mind? Because she was actually like you had a look on your face of you're right. I need to do something.
You know that when we had our confessionals, the producers asked me one time. They were like, "Hey, Sabrina, she always calls you out on your bullshit, right?" And I was like. And I thought about I was in the confessional and I was sitting there and I was like, she does.
I think that's the same thing. Of course, I was friends too.
Yeah.
You know, because there's a different intention. Like they want to tell you, you know, how to improve yourself.
Exactly.
You know?
And I do and I take it. And I take it. I don't get offended by that.
Right.
I don't get offended ever by her
Right.
calling me out. Like I take it in like this is gonna make me a better person.
Of course.
And she doesn't she's never known me to be a person like that.
Right.
You know, and she knows what I've gone through
Right.
too, of
Right.
people like saying things about me. And so she's like, why would you even be part of something like that?
Right.
Why would you even be part of something like that? And that's where I kind of, and before that, I already felt it.
Of
you
course.
can see my face. My face does not hide anything.
It does not. It does
doesn't
not.
matter how much Botox or fillers I have in it. You cannot hide my face. I actually
Just like
get
me
headaches.
with the eye.
The eyes. Mayra with the eyes. I'm like, oh, Mayra, you can hide it. I love it. You know, but
I've always been like that. Even my when I was working, you know, like my boss, he would tell me you cannot play poker. There's no way.
You do not have a poker face.
Yeah.
If you're gonna become like a finance director, you know,
Right.
you need to hide what you're thinking. I'm like, oh God, that's gonna be an issue.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
and so I have a look on my face all the time that I'm thinking.
Right.
Like when Luz like called Mayra, and I noticed that every time I watch the show, I'm like, look at my face, man.
It said everything.
It said everything. Like, I feel uncomfortable. I don't like this. What should I say? And I'm just thinking.
Yeah.
Like, that's...
Yeah. You
can
were
see.
nervous the whole season. I kept telling you,
Yeah.
you're not being yourself.
Exactly.
I kept telling you.
She told me so many times. She goes,
During
"You're not-"
filming?
Yeah.
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 She's
There's
like, you're
something wrong with
nervous.
you.
There's
Yeah.
something going on. And
You're not being yourself, I told her.
Because I would keep it in. I would keep it in, and I wouldn't want to, like, I just didn't want to let it out because I was afraid to be attacked.
Right.
Because I've been attacked a lot my whole life. I was afraid. I was. And you can tell in my face
Telling you, you're
so many
stressed. You're
times.
like, no, I'm not. I'm like, yes, you are.
Yeah.
Cheers to the friends who keep it real and we have those
Yeah.
honest relationships with. Because God knows that that those are really important. You know, I have maybe 3 in my life. I could count them on one hand, 3 or 4.
That's all you
That's
need.
all you need.
And one of them, Joey, he works here at 96.1 now, and you know, I think sometimes, like it's funny because they get away with a lot when it comes to giving like us critique, right? I mean, there are things that he could tell me that somebody else could not tell me, but because I know where it's coming from.
Constructive criticism,
Right.
which is different.
It depends
right.
how
Right.
you say it.
And
Right.
why do you want to say it? Like,
Right.
you know, it's
not
Of
to bring
course.
somebody else down.
Of course.
Because you know that person's trying to build you up, not
Right.
bring you down.
Right. If there's a season 2, what would you hope to share more of with viewers or less of?
less lighting, obviously.
Oh, that's what they
I know, but no, at least with someone else. Can I please get a break?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And you know, and that's always been obviously in
And
all
women
of our
supporting women. More of women supporting women, you know, community over competition. Because honestly, it's like someone does something, oh, I need to do it like 10 times better, you know?
Yeah.
And,
Right.
Yeah.
you know, like, oh, we're having this event. Oh, I'm going to have this one now. Why
Yeah.
can't we all be friends?
Yeah. I know. With
So-
all of this, it's very difficult to get all of us together.
Right.
It is. It's difficult to get us all together, and I feel like I've always tried to be the mediator,
Mm-hmm.
and it could blow up in my face sometimes, or sometimes I'm like, oh man, I failed.
Right.
I didn't do it right, but I feel like we could all get along, and we can all go towards a more productive way.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like showcasing our culture was amazing.
Yeah.
all the organizations, everything that the
That
Latino
are getting-
community does,
yeah.
for the country. I love that. I mean, I think we had an amazing, like showing of that.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of that, though. I
Yeah.
would love to do that more.
More.
And again, I want to bring, the Mexican designers, Latin American designers, and like bring them here, and that's part of our
And to
culture.
help that.
you know,
Yeah, to help
That's great.
Mexico too. I mean, because really, that's
Yeah.
where our roots come from.
So-
Latinos, the whole Latino community.
Less drama, more culture.
I
Less
know.
drama, more
But people
I
like
margaritas.
kept getting
it.
from Bill.
No, but
This is
people-
not a documentary, Mayra. This is a Bravo show.
No, but people liked it. When Mayra sees the soft side of her, the way that she raised her children and her relationship with Fernando, like even Raúl and I fought on the show,
Right.
But that's us. Like that's
Right.
I mean. And people would say, "Oh my gosh, I do that too with my husband.
Right.
And we didn't agree. Like, my son has ADHD, my daughter has
Right.
ADHD, my son, daughter's on the spectrum, and that's what I did.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be between us women.
Right.
And
It could be just the struggles that we live to day that normal people live,
Yep.
not the 1% of the richest population. O sea, or
Right.
we're all normal.
Right.
We live a normal life.
And I do want to say, like in the last week, Carla reached out, on Manoli. So hopefully we can also,
Yeah,
show
some
that,
rules.
Well, 'cause
that
she
you can
was,
go beyond,
Yeah. Because she was I saw her at your Casa event.
Exactly.
Yeah, her and Manoli.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think she might be,
That's good.
hopefully we can, solve it out. We're making progress there.
Well, I hope so we can have a season 2.
I know,
Right,
Come on,
right,
Bill,
yes.
Bill. I'll be here to help in anything you need.
I know, right? He did say you guys get that online petition started ASAP.
I know,
Yes, I know, right? Yes.
I've already been asked a million
Again,
times.
I
know.
honestly think that it started kind of slow and boring with the anal thing for 4 freaking episodes, and then now we got it going on.
Yeah.
And then they wanted us to be stuck on the jury, and I'm like, can we move forward? I already tried to solve that.
I don't know,
Are
Mayra,
we doing
but-
this again? Seriously?
You do need to copyright that word.
What?
Which one? Anal?
You really should, actually.
I know.
I did come up with something, remember? I
my
made you
God.
blush. Never mind. I'm not going to mention
No,
it
I
again.
told you, pinche Penny. That's all I told her. Really, Penny? Really?
Hey, monopolize on it, baby.
So what I thought was hilarious, and I don't know if anybody else caught this or not, but when all of this was going on in the breakfast room, like all the drama, like everybody is like al cien, right? With the
Yeah.
and the wait staff back there just
I saw them.
just like cooking, trying to pretend like nothing's happening.
Oh my gosh. I saw that in one of like the freeze,
Yes,
the
yes.
freezes that somebody posted. And I was like, and the lady's like there smiling. And
What do we do now? Like,
all that was going through my head, when you drink a lot the night before, because
Yeah.
Mayra was totally right. We did get there super wasted
Uh-huh.
already.
And honestly, again,
Mayra was right when she told Lorena
And
that you guys are going to be wasted by
and
the time you get there.
Need to disclaim that.
What?
You showed me the picture, but we already had our
We were.
couple of drinks. So honestly, I don't even think that she knows. She realized that she showed me the phone,
Right.
And I went through them. It wasn't on purpose. We had been drinking all day long.
Right.
She didn't show it to me.
Right.
She showed me a picture.
The
and
truth
we just
is,
kept talking.
Fernando read it.
Yeah.
Because Fernando was more sober than we were.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't drink.
He did,
Well,
yeah.
he
Yeah.
just drank from time to
And
time.
so
Yeah.
we were, all 4 of us were sitting because we were roommates.
And I
in our
didn't say
condo.
anything again.
I
It's
know.
just
And
like,
so Fernando read it and he showed it to Mayra. And I'm not going to be immature and say,
Right.
like, give me back my phone. Oh
Right.
my God. People were saying, I was
plus, I
really.
didn't say any. I didn't.
No.
I didn't make a big deal out of it.
No.
It was just
No,
like,
but it was,
okay,
I mean, of course.
Okay.
I've explained that a million times to them, but I don't think they really understand.
Yeah, no, it looks like their mind is made up. Like as far as they're concerned, you showed it on purpose. Like
Penny.
That's why I need to make it clear.
And I
it
don't
wasn't
think
on
that-
purpose.
yeah.
I want to make it clear.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's anything anybody could say that's going to change your mind.
Yeah.
And honestly, is it really about like she showed me a text or like people trusting you behind your back?
No, I think they're
Right.
upset because they were exposed. And it's normal. Anybody would be.
But then again, the issue shouldn't be about you showing me. the
Right.
texts.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's
That's deviating the attention.
Well,
did the staff that was cooking breakfast get involved in the conversation at all? I'm curious if
never, never,
Never
never, never,
I feel bad for them.
what I would have done, I would have paid one of them money to be like, she's right.
I know, right?
Don't. I'm not even
Production
lying.
did like, well, I don't know.
Yeah, no. Have you ever been to Horseshoe Bay?
I haven't. I want to go now, though, that I saw the episode.
Okay, look. Let
It
me
was
tell
my
you.
first time
I'm
there.
not kidding. It was your first time
I
there,
don't
right?
believe- I
A lot
don't
of
think
them.
I
It
don't
was
think
their
I have the
first
best
time there.
memories.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. It's a hidden gem.
Yeah, it looked
in Texas,
awesome.
and I do have to say a shout out to the Jaffes. They were amazing. I mean, because it is the most snobby place you will
Really?
be to in Texas. It is a hidden gem. I don't call
Like
it the
the
San
Hamptons.
Yeah,
I don't call
yeah.
it the
New
San Antonio Hamptons for anything. I'm not kidding you. People, there's only a private jet like area to fly into Horseshoe Bay, and you see them flying in every 20 minutes.
Well, you can drive in there.
No. You can drive in.
But they have their own like little landing strip for private
Yeah, they
jets.
have a landing strip, and there's private jets
Wow.
going in every 30 seconds. It is San Antonio's Hamptons. I'm not
Yeah.
kidding. And for them to have given us permission to be filming
Mm-hmm.
in every single area of that resort was amazing, because they're like the snobbiest people that you can imagine all over there. And so I was really grateful. And
Yeah.
nobody gets into anybody's business.
Right.
Like, so I think that's why the staff was like,
There you-
this is no big deal. This happens all the time.
All
All
the
the
time.
rich people come
Probably.
over here. All the
That's
rich
see all
people
their
come
drama.
here, and they do whatever they can, and they
Yeah.
what they want, and nobody
they're
says
actually used to the Real Housewives.
They
you
really
know,
are.
sort of
Right,
people.
they
right.
really are.
Right.
And so, I mean, I've got to say, they know how to keep out of major issues.
So I found that when all that was going on, I call it the breakfast room, like that moment, right? When all that was happening. Some ladies had smiles on their faces and some ladies had distress on their faces.
Right.
Genuine distress, like Lorena, for example. Like you could see in her face, like, holy crap, like I can't believe. And even when she was lashing out, you could still tell that it was painful for her to lash out. Yeah. While others were
Smirking.
My lips.
like really, really happy though that
Yes, of course.
things were going down that way.
Yeah.
I just thought that was interesting to note, and I think the viewers
That was
noticed
the
that too.
final purpose.
I
That
think
was the initial purpose, actually.
right.
For this to happen.
Right. I asked Ana Yancy and Luz last week if they had ever had a text mess aside from this, or an email mess. Have you guys had any, aside from this, like an email or a text situation that you were like, oh my God, I can't believe I sent that you didn't mean to send somebody? Like, have you ever sent like nude pictures to somebody other than Raul by mistake, or
Not even to Raul. Everybody thinks I'm like the most sexual woman in the world. And, oh, you have a stripper pole. I'm like, and Raul's like, send me a picture. I'm like, hell no.
Like 15 years ago, again, I worked for a tobacco company. So they were very particular and of everything that was written down.
right?
And yes, something that I wrote
Got to
me
the wrong
major
person.
trouble. Believe me, I learned my lesson. Nothing written, no
No
chats.
documentation.
I don't do
nothing.
chats. I don't
Yes.
have chats.
Yes.
I mean, we only just got a new one,
Yeah.
like between the four of us, and that's
Yeah.
it. That's the only chat that I've got.
Raul, Fernando, Mayra, and I. And Mayra never answers. It's Fernando and me talking the whole time.
And it's funny because and yesterday, Penny and I were talking, and Raul was there, and he was like sending a text message to the
In the
four of
chat.
us. I'm like, there's 3 of us here. Like, seriously, like, you need to include Fernando now.
No.
That was 15 years ago,
just
and I learned my lesson.
Yeah, me too.
You know what? I only use it in business for that same reason, because documentation. So if I need to, if my clients, I talk to them over the phone, and then I will confirm something in an email.
Right.
Like, I told you this, and this is our deadline. So
Lauren is out of town, but she will tell you that I always kept telling her, do not write anything down.
Right.
Nothing. Do not write anything that might be used against you. And believe me, when this happened, like, oh, you told me. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Right.
Okay. So last question before we wrap it up. Who signed the Declaration of Independence?
Hancock.
I'm like, Hancock?
How can you not?
We got it.
My brother. Oh my God. My brother. See, now I got everybody to remember it, right?
Of course. We got it.
My
I'm like,
brother. Last week. Oh my goodness. He's like the biggest history buff in the whole world. I haven't told you this. Well, he's a history teacher. And he was like, you are an idiot. I cannot believe you. You don't even know who who's and I was like, well, now I remember.
Yes, believe me, now we'll remember.
You should say, tell him, thanks to my technique, everybody who watched the show.
Thanks to my technique. Maybe you should use that in class now.
I know.
I did.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, but I mean, it was just like a reaction. I'm so sorry.
Yes.
I thought it was hilarious. I was like,
I honestly studied for the text like the day before. Remember, I didn't even. I went with the lawyer, and he's like, "Oh, but they wait tomorrow. You're having a test." I'm like, "What? What test? Yeah. The test." So I mememorized it like overnight.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I could see you doing that.
Oh yes,
John Hancock.
Yes, Hank.
I'm like, oh my goodness, did I just do that? Yeah,
So a couple of things as we wrap up. The season finale after party, or viewing party rather.
Yes.
Here in San Antonio, it's going to be at the Fairmont Hotel rooftop bar.
That's where it was officially going to be, like the actual finale.
Right.
Our finale on the show.
The official finale.
Yes.
We're super excited that we got that location.
Me too. And I'm super excited that it's all going to benefit the San Antonio AIDS Foundation.
100% of the proceeds will go to the foundation.
I really love that. It's Pride Month. I think it's going to be Pride Weekend. That weekend as well, right?
Yes.
So
we might be participating in the parade.
No, we are going to be in the car with them. With Ken. He invited me.
Oh, fun.
Ken's the one that told us.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, it's just because my Gusbinger, who was with us that last time, he's the one who's getting us all on
that's so
I'm
cool.
actually
going to be
you take care of it. Just send me
tell
the
me where
schedule.
to go. Yeah, just tell me where to go.
Yeah, well, I'm supposed to be at South Padre Island. I'm going to return earlier so we can do that.
Awesome.
That's great.
I'm so excited
So
about
Tuesday night, June 25th, 7:30 to 10:30 at the Fairmont Hotel rooftop bar. $40 donation goes to the San Antonio AIDS Foundation. Great cause.
And that includes drinks and appetizers.
That's awesome. And the Sunday brunch. I wonder if we're going to be able to get everybody together.
Is this Sunday?
No. We still need to get the date. I think it's going to be
on barges.
Where?
If it's not too hot, yes.
Okay.
If it's too hot, we're going to take it inside.
I'll tell you who to put on what barge, so we don't get thrown off.
Right? I won't say
I'm the
anything. I
captain.
behave.
No sailors get thrown off. Okay, we're all going to get there to the port.
I've learned my lesson from the first episode. I'll behave.
No, you'll be fine.
No, we all know how to coexist. Yes.
I say the only way that's going to be a success is if somebody falls over the boat.
Oh.
Or somebody gets
Maybe
thrown
we might
over
get
the
second
boat.
season with that, right?
Right.
Second season right
we'll
there.
have cameras rolling just in case.
Please, really?
Yeah, but the Sunday brunch will be fun.
Can I have a break and someone else be thrown up on the boat?
I'll take it for the team.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
So
Thank
just
you.
listen to my
For the team, but for me, yes, thank you.
thank you, ladies, for stopping by.
Thank you.
And chatting after episode 7.
Super fun as usual.
We'll do again episode 8, which is the final episode on the 25th. We'll all be at the Fairmont Hotel. What is the crown from, by the way? Because you're the queen of real estate.
A friend of mine gave it to me. Yeah, I got to bring my crown around.
That's cute.
Among other stuff.
Among other stuff. Yeah.
All right, Tuesday nights on Bravo. If you guys want a season 2, I suggest you start sharing and commenting and
Get your
tagging.
tickets for the finale. Only 130 people will be allowed.
Oh, wow. Okay,
Yes,
so
it's
get your
gonna-
tickets
Yes.
ASAP.
And they're
Yes.
selling out fast already.
I better go on and buy mine today. I haven't done that
Yes.
yet. All right, thank you, ladies. Texicanas on Bravo.
Thank you, Tito, for having us.
Texicanas is Bravo's newest drama-filled series. Y el drama es real. Texicanas Tuesday nights on Bravo.